Good evening. It is Tuesday night, 8:32 p.m. and it is 62 degrees and mostly cloudy outside. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTuber Ronin, and I would like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Live from Sparkwood in 21. This series chronicles the cult classic television series Twin Peaks, created by David Lynch and Mark Frost. And tonight, we delve deeper into Mark Frost's Twin Peaks, The Final Dossier, Part 2. Joining me on this journey, last call, Troy Pacelli.
You know, I really have to say, I loved your opening. If for no other reason, I really do miss David Lynch's daily, weather, announcements and whatnot. It kind of bothers me because I suspect the reason he stopped was because of his health problems. But I got that reference.
Right on. She of two smoldering avatars this evening. Nether's Network.
Good evening.
And of course, the man himself, the man we shanghaied into this, much as I was, representing Flappy, Age Boomer.
Flappy was done wrong, but it's good to be here all the same. Seriously. He should have statues of himself in parks. Right?
Well, I think so. There would be a certain irony to that, though. I mean, because you think about it, a statue to a bird ending up with bird poop on it.
Okay, why do you got to go there? Why do you got to ruin it?
Because it's just reality.
It's just reality. I don't come to David Lynch for reality.
Well, that's fair. That is fair. Okay.
All the other birds would say that was a bird among birds, and they would pay the respect and not crap all over it. They would crap on the people looking at the statue. Wouldn't crap on the statue, right?
Well, it depends. Maybe some of the birds that knew him might.
Well, maybe. He did have a lot of enemies. A lot of well, he feathered a lot of nests, and that got some other male birds angry. Okay, I'm just going to say that.
Yes, good point. I see what you did there, Deleted. You put us by our icons on the backdrop. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
We've talked so much about Flappy. I don't think I've ever looked into the type of bird that he is. And our source think it was a Baywick's wren. But they don't think that's it. We're going with a female varied thrush. That's a lie. Yeah. He is not a female. He is not a she.
I don't know. Maybe, it was the
goodness.
Role. It's also not a thrush.
He was kind of doing the same thing as David Duchovny, for this role.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Well, yes, he is a native to the Pacific Northwest. I was looking at some Audubon Society Canada thing, and that's what they were saying on the site. I don't know if I buy their explanation. They think they're bird experts or something. It's a bunch of BS.
The Audubon Society think they're bird experts. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Well, so yeah, tonight we pick up right where we left off last week. It starts pretty dark.
It ended pretty dark.
It ended pretty dark, so it's still in that same place. We will be picking it back up with the what's it called, with Annie Blackburn talking about Wyndham Earle, and all the fallout of that. But then we get into Dr. Jacoby, and it kind of picks up a bit.
Yeah.
And we do, there's not a lot of lore about it, but we do get a nice little send-off for Margaret Coulson. And we do get to find out canonically what happens to Sheriff Truman and why he wasn't in the return. So
before we do go into that, I do want to say hello to everyone currently watching us right now
yes,
on
of course,
and on our various channels in the live chat, including apparently our first commenter, Devorous of Crime.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary. FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. Scrolling down. JP, thanks for being with us. The tired midnight blogger himself, Curtis Selby, just completed his show this evening.
Talking about cabinets, I understand. I suggested a nice redwood with a dark stain.
Well, of course. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights.
Sup?
Geek Leg with Nate Nose, 1973.
Hello.
Never gets old, does it?
Jermon's joined us.
Yeah, it's late on that side of the pond, huh?
Indeed. Let's see. Scrolling through, I don't want to miss anyone. And all right, I think we got everybody who's joined us up to now. Okay, so as Troy said, we have a part 2 of the dossier. Many questions got answered for me in this particular portion of the book. And
last week's or this week's?
Oh, well, mostly this week, and you'll see as we get into it. I inquired throughout season 3 about the fate of a certain character, and we are going to find that out tonight. So buckle in,
was
folks. This is going to get bumpy, and there's going to be some funny stuff too. Trust me. But
yeah.
The German waitress on the double R, is that who you're wondering?
That was the one that was standing out from the whole thing.
It was
actually, she did show up in the return.
She does.
I was like, wow, that was a deep dive. Good on them. But this was my real difficulty. Was there was so much from the book that I actually thought in my head, because it had been a while, I thought it was in the return. So even by the time we got to the end of watching the return, I keep forgetting what you hadn't already, found out about from the books. So I was like, oh, this gets so confusing.
Because there's just so much information.
There is. there's a lot to process.
And I think and I think I've implied this if I haven't outright said it before. I do feel there's a lot of implied story that you're kind of expected to tease out yourself, in your own mind. And I do try to comment on that as we go through.
Okay. All right. So everybody, please join us over on Cosme for the presentation. I do want to remind everyone who might not be watching us live that unfortunately we cannot air the audio or really technically the video either, because it would be a possible copyright strike, and we're trying to avoid that. And But
Yeah,
the
I
final
was.
dossier is available. There's a physical copy, and it's also available on Audible, and it's fairly affordable. So,
Yeah, I did realize that what I was doing was I was actually showing the pages of the dossier because, well, let's face it, you imagine it as a dossier that pages are being turned through. It just made sense as a visual.
Mhm.
I don't think that the pictures themselves would constitute a copyright, but yes, since we are playing the audio, that would be copywritten.
Mhm. All right. So, like I said, everybody, please join us over on Cosme. Of course, share this video out. Let everybody know that we're here and we're live and we're ready to go.
We are here. We are here. We are here. We are here.
There's a reference I got too. That's Dr. Seuss.
That's Horton Hears a
Horton
Who.
Hears a Who specifically.
Horton
Yes,
Hears a
exactly.
Who.
Yep. Sorry, I'm easily distracted.
All
I'm
right.
easily
So,
amused.
all right. So here we go with part 2 of
Yep.
Mark Frost's Twin Peaks: The Final Dossier. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Someone spoke like Jerry's leg. Yeah, this one's rough.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Profiling. Hell, this is psychoanalysis.
Mm.
Summation. This guy's Looney Tunes.
Huh.
I may have to check that out.
I've heard those.
Yes. This is, of course, a reference to the fact that the Diane that they knew was apparently a tulpa.
Hmm.
How ridiculous is that?
Bad man.
Yes. Like a private madman to public murderer.
Hmm.
Honestly, hearing this synopsis, I would kind of like to see like a prequel story in the style of like a Sherlock Holmes Moriarty type thing.
Hmm.
I don't think I'm off base by comparing him to Moriarty.
No.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Right. And also being not quite sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Shocking. I gotta say, that freaked me out.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Nate. Mm. You know what she's responding to, right?
No.
How's Annie?
Oh. So I guess the destruction of the Cooper doppelganger didn't fix her.
No, we don't know. There may still be more to the Annie Blackburn story.
Yeah, I'll be going more into
JP, he actually had read this before he did Queen of Hearts, so
Mm.
it fits.
like Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago.
Mm. Yep.
Oh no!
I mean, I love this.
Ripe?
Yep. I will say this though, she was the runner-up. If they go just by votes, you know.
Mm.
As one would expect.
Oh, here we go. This is creepy.
Yep. Yep. I agree, Nate.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, we know a lot more, and we're still working on it.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. You got us a couple weeks ago, didn't you? I when I was looking for pictures of Robin Lively,
Mhm.
there was more pictures of her with Ryan Reynolds than with any other guy, and I purposely avoided using any. I gotta say, I
My
kind of
boy,
had fun
Dr.
with
Amp.
this segment.
Mm. He's the definition of quack.
I got a different perspective after doing this chapter. I and I think you'll see this as we get farther into this segment. I see them using him, and I think this was intentional on Lynch's part. I think he's kind of playing the role of like an Alex Jones type, or even to
Yeah.
some degree, Jordan Peterson.
Mm.
Can we say pygmy?
I don't know. Apparently it was okay back in 2017. I don't know about today. I never made that connection before. I see your comment there, JP, but I don't think I can do it. It takes me hours to do each 1 hour segment. It's very difficult. That would have to be a long term thing, and I would not be able to get it done in time to be actually able to present it in this format.
Well,
Because apparently we're 12, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Wow, I bet he was cheese growing up.
I love is through the rest of this, she calls him little poops. I love how she gets real pedantic on these, this history and naming, and it makes me think a little bit of the Metatron. Is he the son of Big Dumps? Yes, exactly.
Yes, actually.
We didn't die.
Yep.
yeah, it's all coming to an end.
This is why I don't understand why people keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Every time they say it's going to be the world if you don't do this and you don't do that. Oh, like the last time and the time before that and the time before that.
Yeah, Orson Welles told me the world was going to come to an end in 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
May 1985. Now I'm going to have some fish sticks. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I draw the comparison to Alex Jones.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Honestly, every single time we decide to get involved in foreign affairs, that's the history of the United States. Every time we go to war in another country, when it's none of our business, it always goes badly for us eventually. We always make it worse.
Mm.
I mean, he's not really wrong. This is another aspect that I attribute to Alex Jones comparison.
Hmm.
Hey, Big Al, welcome, welcome. Yep, we're having fun. Broadcasting from somewhere in an undisclosed location. Or basically silence him.
Selling out.
Mm-hmm. See, and I see the whole dig yourself out of the shit like Jordan Peterson's clean up your own room.
Yes.
That's basically what his merch page is, I guess.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Probably from his perspective, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah. Albert said about Bob, maybe he's just the evil.
Huh.
Yeah, pretty much.
And hello to Space Fraggle. I was a patsy.
Patsy.
I didn't
Mhm.
take the peanuts.
Uh,
Early luck. Yeah, I can see
funny.
that.
That'll do it.
Yep. Shocker. Hmm.
Hmm.
It's always my assessment too.
Hmm. I remember that.
Yep. Yeah. If nothing else, this puts all the events of the return into a semblance of chronological order.
Hmm.
Yep. Like that. Yep.
Hmm. I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not all, sad endings. Or pay steep fines.
Yes.
So sweet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you, Curtis. I really, really appreciate that.
And hello, wait.
Yeah, Troy did a really good job on this.
Yeah.
Get well soon.
Yeah.
Unkind words.
Well, I do think this is a good summation that, gives you the closure you need on this character.
Hmm. Hawk.
Yeah.
What's funny is I heard Troy putting this together, so for me, I'm like, didn't I already hear this?
Yes, you did. There you go. That is part 2.
Mm.
Next week would be the last where we will hear.
It'll be the final dossier.
Yeah, there's a big section. I mean, it gets meaty from here.
Oh, yeah.
Major Briggs, Philip Jeffries, Judy, Ray Monroe,
Judy.
and kind of up to date, debrief at the end. It's a lot of lore there at the end, but I think you get a lot of good closure for a lot of the characters. Not a lot to talk about here. It's pretty straightforward. I think this is since this is written by Mark Frost, it's a very straightforward narrative. It's like David Lynch is all the woo-woo stuff, and Mark Frost is all the, well, let's put it together in a narrative so it makes sense.
Woo woo.
Yeah.
Yes, the woo woo.
Yeah, I bit my tongue. I didn't want to say too much during the Margaret part, but
That was heartbreaking.
when she said something about, this is the world you're born into, not another one, and I'm like, I'm not so sure that's true, given the narrative of this story.
I'm still trying to figure out about this other world that we saw at the end of the series.
Exactly right. Exactly right. It does raise some questions. As I was working my way through this, especially the Annie Blackburn part, I happened upon an article, an interview that what's her name? The girl that played Annie.
Heather Graham.
Yeah, Heather Graham. She had said she wanted to come back to give some sort of story closure for the character. And she would still like to. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think that is going to influence the showrunners into actually doing anything with it, but it would be nice if that happened.
Last thing I saw her on was the remake of The Stand on Paramount Plus.
Oh yeah, I forgot they made another one.
Yes.
Which character did she play?
All right. Do you know how in the book there was Nadine? I mean, the original series there was Nadine. I think that character in the original series, I didn't read the books, but it sounded like from the remake series that character kind of got combined into one in the original series where it was split in two, whereas this is the character the guitarist meets on his own, but not the same one that ended up with Randall Flagg. So it's like two different characters.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's
the girl who found the kid. The feral kid. Yeah. Okay.
That might have been somebody else. Somebody else. This was somebody else he met in New York. It's yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Before Nadine, then
she was like a wealthy widow.
Yeah.
Her husband died in the disease. But yeah.
Okay. And thank you, Fraggle, for the super sticker.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Well, there you go. That was. Now, I also, I didn't want to bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up because why not? You got a little queasy about some of the politics, and you got to just remember this is those left coast people. You have to kind of expect that.
It's also being told from the point of view of an FBI agent.
Which is a little ironic, right? Because, this whole show does kind of imply that, the FBI is like, the Boy Scouts or whatever, when in reality, that's not really the case,
See, the X-Files was the opposite. It did not imply that the FBI...
Yeah.
And thank you, Nate, for the $5 super chat. The remake of The Stand was awful. I couldn't finish it. I haven't watched it myself either.
For issues, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have access to it. I could sit down and watch it.
There you go.
But I haven't really kind of brought myself to actually doing it for a number of reasons, some of which go beyond the show itself. There are just certain people in it I would just prefer not to really see in anything else.
I can think of two off the top of my head, but
yeah,
right.
Maybe actually three. Now I think about it.
Yeah, well, two of them were self-inflicted. One, I think, just because he was a kid actor in Hollywood, but and it's kind of this same thing that I fight with, because I've had a number of people who I respect here on YouTube tell me that Andor is worth checking out, but I just can't bring myself to get enthusiastic about it. Especially when there's still like Terminal List and Tulsa King out there, and Yellowstone I'd like to catch up on. But yeah, when the left coast politics that are in this book, which were very plain tonight, and then a couple of other segments, did take me out, did kind of downgrade the Final Dossier for me a little bit, but enough to not recommend it on a whole. I mean, I still recommend it, but I think really,
honestly, if they had just dropped the whole Lana Budding Milford storyline, which really brought nothing to the rest of it, I would have been fine with all of it. It was just literally there as an excuse for a Trump poke.
Yeah,
and it's like,
I mean, my only real question when it comes to Lana is, what did she say to Donna that started Donna's downward spiral?
that is
They're
interesting,
not
because
connected in the series.
that does seem to imply something. But so there's a couple things here, right? We clearly we kind of knew she was kind of a smarmy kind of character to begin with, right? Hey, welcome, Mark.
Hello, Mark.
And femme fatale, in a ham-fisted kind of way. Nothing really elegant about her in that regard. It's clear she's not a terribly likable person, but when Donna runs into her, hey, it's a face from home, right? It's like, hey, that's a person I know, and they're both kind of running in the same crowds, right? These,
at that point, yeah.
Society type things, right? And maybe it's just the way she's running in that society that Donna doesn't like. It's like, does she see herself as a reflection in Lana? I mean, hell, just the fact that Donna and Lana's names are, one letter apart from each other, has got to cause her to think a little bit.
Is there a Clark interacting with Lana?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, you never know.
But also I think there was, how discreet do I want to be about this? I think something was implied about the two of them, very, very obliquely, but knowing the circles they're running in, especially, the high fashion and all this kind of stuff, knowing the kind of writing that Mark Frost does, I think there was more to their relationship than was overtly expressed in the narrative, if you will.
I in that case, I can't go there.
You don't think that's a stretch? I mean, you think that's a stretch because, he kind of comes close to putting his finger right on it when he talks about her relationships with both men and women,
Well, yeah. They do say that. But again, I think it's just, I don't think they knew what to do with Donna as a character. I don't think they knew what to do with her.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, did feel like you can't completely divorce the characters from the actors in this particular case, because it's very clear that what they do to Donna is directed at Laura Flynn Boyle.
But they had another Donna actress.
That was just to be a fill-in for the prequel. Ultimately, the Lana that left Twin Peaks was Laura Flynn Boyle, and they wanted to sizzle her a bit. At least that's my read on it.
You know what? Do it on your own time, not when.
I agree. At the same time, too, there's so many, especially because of the failing health and imminent deaths of so many of the actors. Things like Margaret's cancer. It's very clear. You can't get away from the fact that the actress was on had been going through chemo, had lost her hair. She was on an oxygen tank. They wrote that in. Now now that I've said that, though, I do want to make it very clear that is not what happened with Michael Ontkean. The fact that they mentioned his character had cancer was literally just a literary device to explain why he's not involved in the story. Michael Ontkean, there's nothing anywhere that I could find that to imply that he is in any kind of ill health. In fact, he had been, by all appearances, planning to be in the return and decided not to at the last minute. It seems to be on his side that he decided not to. And I have not found any peep about why.
All right.
I mean, not that Robert Forster isn't a suitable substitute. Like you said, he was on the short list to play Harry to begin with. So it kind of makes sense to at least have him there. But yeah, I do miss that Harry's not in season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too.
And I made the big deal out of missing, because my whole ending scenario kind of needed Annie to be there. And for the reasons explained here, that's why that didn't happen.
And
so I was partially right, but
I did feel that given what we knew from the end of season 2 and what we saw in season 3, where else was Harry's story going to go? We got the broad strokes. If you roll his story out, with by the momentum of it, what would he do? Of course, he would never stop trying to find out what happened to Cooper, right? And he would just keep being the sheriff of Twin Peaks until health prevented him from doing so. That was just fill in the numbers and move on type of plot point. Mark is, of course, making a reference to the insanity going on in Hollywood, specifically in the Star Trek genre. Yep, I hear you, my friend.
Yeah, I'm at a point with Star Trek now where, I'm to say the original series, maybe Deep Space Nine, lose the rest.
Yeah, I hear you.
But that's where I am on it. And I'm saying that as somebody who was at one point a Star Trek fan, and I've just lost any real interest in it. You got this guy. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant here. You got this guy now who's playing Pike.
Yep.
Who, let's face it, has never been in anything good.
True.
In my opinion.
It was in the Inhumans, which wasn't good.
The Inhumans had one good scene in 12 episodes.
Okay, yeah, that's one more than I guess. Is that when Medusa still had her hair before they shaved her head, so they wouldn't have to pay for the effect of
that's the other tragedy of that show. Dina Meyer I like her a lot, but she tends to be in these superhero shows that aren't good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't Dina Meyer, so she avoided that one.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, it was the actress who played Zatanna on Smallville. It was her. I forget what her name was, though. Yeah.
Oh, I don't really remember. Okay.
Yeah. What happened to Josie? Well, I think my theory on what happened with Josie does kind of work. She is
Yep.
She
much
became a
like
snob.
she gets Jack Torrance. She's part of the hotel now.
Oh, I thought
Yes.
she was part of the desk and ended up at a Goodwill somewhere.
Well, there's that possibility. No, it does imply the whole thing about Ben hearing the chimes in the hotel and whatnot.
I think that's part of it.
We also have the whole thing with Margaret and her log. If it's not absolute certainty, it seems very likely that the spirit of her husband is in that log. And we know that in Twin Peaks, spirits can get trapped in wood. So it makes perfect sense that the same might have happened to Josie.
Hmm.
So, yes, a number of people are given a brush with the supernatural. Andy and Lucy, absolutely.
Which was a nice
Hawk,
bookend, I thought,
yeah,
between Andy saving Harry in season 1 and then Lucy saving Frank in season 3. That was well done, I thought.
That's a great point. Hawk, let's face it, he's been a spiritual guidepost throughout the series. So that should not come as a huge surprise. James, he's more like the sidekick to a supernatural character, right? He's like, he's just trying to be a friend to somebody, and give him guidance. And let's face it, just like how many characters you see, like Han Solo, right? He doesn't believe in the Force, right? And then he starts seeing all kinds of crap happen, and he's like, well, okay, there must be some kind of Force. I mean, I can't deny it. I can see it. Mm-hmm. James, I kind of feel is playing that same role there.
Yeah. And there are the characters that I refer to as the Force users, and there are, and that's definitely Margaret, and that's definitely Hawk. Bobby later on, certainly his father. Ben's interesting because he, along with Bobby, I think, get the best character arcs in the entire series.
Agreed.
Because they are completely different men by the end of it. And
he's trying to reform himself. I noticed that. Yes.
He tries to reform himself, and what he does for what we find out that here in the dossier, what he does for Norma and Annie, he had no stake in that.
No, and he had no direct responsibility. You see him, all the things in his family and in his life that he's responsible for, he actively goes after trying to fix. This one has nothing to do with him. He has no obligation, from a moral level, other than the moral obligation to do good for your fellow man.
Mm-hmm. Serinda Swan, was in the Inhumans.
Okay.
She's in the Research series in season 2 as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That just shows you how much attention I really paid to it.
Yeah.
But there are still people who resent him, like the ex-wife, right?
Well, and you can kind of understand that.
Yeah. She has reason to.
And even as this is the tragic element of these reforming characters, right? We see it with Bobby, but we see it even more acutely with Ben. When he tries to do the right thing, he still ends up screwing up. He's got great intentions and he thinks he's doing something good, but it can still cause harm. So we see that with the storyline with the Haywards and the Horns, right? So this is where the breakup of both of their marriages start. He's like, I need to go and, just like, the 12-step program, right? You get to the part where I have to go and apologize to everyone I ever did anything bad to. And that's coming from a good place, but sometimes don't pick at the scab, let it heal, you know? And in this case, his going and, you know, trying to reconcile and take responsibility for Donna is what's ultimately the underlying thing. All it does is tear both of those families apart. And nobody forgave him for that. And I kind of don't blame them. So that's why his wife ends up leaving him. That's why Doc Hayward ends up leaving his wife. It bothers me that Doc Hayward leaves his daughters. See, that's...
Yeah, I didn't buy that.
That is
I had a
not
problem with
cool.
that. Yeah.
Especially since he seems to reconcile with Donna later in life. Donna's the one who wasn't your daughter.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, this is not me. I am not at the point where I would claim that that's bad writing. I would say, you know what? These kinds of things really do happen. People really do make bad decisions. Even the good guys make bad decisions sometimes.
Maybe something snapped in him when Ben Horn came to the house.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
I think that there's one story element there that they don't focus on too much. Even by describing it in the dossier, they don't focus on it too much. But I think, and maybe this is just my headcanon for Doc Hayward, he clobbered Ben Horn and caused a concussion, almost killed him. He could very well have killed him. And he's a doctor. And he took that Hippocratic Oath seriously.
He did.
And he did harm. And that really, really bothered him. And at the same time, he might have also done the whole thing that any righteously indignant person would do. Blame, you know, Ben Horn for, look what you made me do. You know, because in this case, it's kind of true. Young Gersten turned into a terrible
Gersten
character. At
really
least
went
a terribly
off the rails. Yeah.
tragic character. Yeah. We talked about her more in depth last week, but she was definitely one of those characters who was a victim of her own prodigy. I think she and I see this happen with a lot of people that I've actually known personally. Very intelligent, way too smart for their own good. Graduating school early, which causes them to be in a peer group that they're not ready for. It's the whole intellectual growing outpacing the emotional growth. And that can have very tragic repercussions. And then, you know, going off to university at such a young age, you know, that's always bad. I actually think that most of the kids that we have now graduating from high school are not emotionally prepared to get away from home and go to college. This is how you end up with a country the way we have it, you know? And I think that that Gersten is a great example of it. Drug use is a recurring theme in the downfall of a lot of these characters. I think it's rightly so. I think it directly reflects real world situations. So yeah, she starts up an affair with her supplier. That does not go well for anyone. So yeah, really too bad. That being said, Alicia Witt is an incredible actress. I like her a lot. She is not her character.
No.
People don't learn. That's what
just say no to kids. Oh, I thought he said just say no to kids. He said just say no, kids. Okay. Either way, it depends.
We don't like children anyhow. Seeing the future, brother, and it's murder. Sorry. Yeah, Leonard Cohen moment. I'm back now. All right. So, was there a closure for Flash World in the Final Dossier? No. I don't think it's referenced. Was there a closure for Flesh World? I don't think it's referenced.
No, it's just a magazine and it still exists. And now it's probably online.
Probably, yeah. Magazines? What are those?
Yeah, exactly.
It's what you used to hide under the bed, right? No, I don't know.
The real world equivalent, I think, is Rolling Stone.
Talk about a waste of paper there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It has been for a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So next week I will have the last part of the dossier. Again, it's going to be a meatier one. So do they make magazines? Yeah, they do actually. I've seen them. I think just about every magazine company at this point has an online version, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Better Homes and Gardens. I get an email from them saying your next issue is out.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, I never subscribed to them, and for like 7 years, I kept getting a monthly magazine from them, and then they started emailing me, telling me your next issue is now available online. Still have no idea why they started sending me copies.
I do find that is kind of funny because Invitation to Love was definitely and it wasn't even subtle. It was very clearly directly paralleling the stories that you were watching in Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks kind of was Invitation to Love.
Yeah. And I like the actress they had playing Jaden Emerald, so I was kind of hoping they would find some place to they're back into season 3, but didn't. I'm not sure she's acting anymore, to be honest.
Somebody took all of the clips of Invitation to Love and put them together as one single video
episode.
So if you're really interested, there you go. You can check it out.
Yeah, we never found out who shot Montana.
Right, exactly.
I have to know. No, sorry. Yeah, it's okay.
I do feel like that they probably dropped that whole thing just because it was almost like trying to write another show while you're writing a show, and it just probably got to be too much.
Yeah, I can see that.
Even if you're just, a little snippet each episode, it's like, but I still got to kind of think through the storyline overall. And that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Although what would have been smart is if they would have had someone else do it as a comic book or something,
Maybe a radio drama.
See, again, I'm always thinking about the spin-off media, and I always lament the fact that, it really did feel like with all of these books, the dossier, Secret History, Laura Palmer's Secret Diary, the tapes, autobiography of Dale Cooper, the Access Guide, all of that stuff. It's like with all of that, there's so much more you could have done, Just sharing my thoughts. I found it odd any of the characters in Twin Peaks had a pet.
Well, except Waldo.
Didn't have a pet, perhaps he meant.
Yeah, not that I recall. Right offhand.
Well, think about Big Ed and Norma. They're at the diner all day. They can't really take care of a pet. Right? I mean, Big Ed's at the gas station all day, right? I mean, Surprised
Well,
Nadine probably murdered the kitten he got her. No,
oh
I'm kidding.
God.
Right.
No, yeah, cats probably would be easy ones because they don't require a great deal of attention to care for.
Dr. Jacoby didn't have an animal?
I don't think so.
No cats or anything? I'm surprised the Haywards didn't have a cat.
Well, we know that people in Twin Peaks did have pets because, somebody had a llama, for crying out loud.
Well, yeah.
Flappy was somebody's pet. Yeah, that's right.
I think Flappy was.
Laura had a pet, though, right?
Well, Laura, the horse, yeah.
Well, yes. She basically killed him. I mean,
pretty
this isn't what Nate said. This isn't about Twin Peaks, but Boomer and Troy, have you noticed that Disney doesn't have anything about live action Snow White on their official YouTube channel?
They don't. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, I was very aware of them not mentioning it in any earnings call for the past year.
But Warner Brothers has been quiet about things like Superman. They haven't really talked too much about that new slate. I mean, they've talked about it in the past, but I haven't heard anything lately. It's like, I think since Joker, too, they've been mum about DC.
On a lesser scale, I think they're having similar problems with a concern about acceptability to the fans. I think that's what their concern is. That is the same thing that's happening with Snow White, but on a much greater, scale.
I would say that they're going to put it on Disney Plus and just cut their losses, but they've sunk so much money into it that they almost have to release it at this point.
They honestly can't. Yeah, they can't financially justify dropping it on streaming at this point because they'd actually be better off just crashing the whole thing and taking a tax write-off. At least there's something to be gained there. There's nothing to gain by putting it on streaming.
No one's going to want to purchase a subscription to Disney Plus based on Snow White, the Snow White movie.
It's more likely to cause them to leave. Yeah, they demonetized Disney. They're demonetizing themselves.
How did they do two witch series in the same year? They did two witch series.
I know.
Agatha
neither one did well.
How did people like the ending of Agatha All Along? Was that a hit, or I don't know?
No, nobody really wanted, because they liked a song from the Wanda show. You think they're going to want a story about the villain of the thing? No. Well, the other villain, I should say.
I think it's the whole thing. They think they can slap Marvel on anything and people will just flock to it, and that's not the case.
How's that work for Star Wars?
Selby, you're on it and call it steampunk.
Right. Exactly.
Well, there is some good news. There is some good science fiction coming up here in about 15 minutes over on Troy's channel. Blake 7 rewatch. What episode are you up to?
The episode is called Bounty.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. Did I bring that up? I didn't mean to. I kind of just lost track of what I was saying.
Bounty.
Blake 7, the episode.
Blake 7.
Right. I wanted to bring up real quick my description. Blake has I'm sorry. President Sarkoff is a prisoner of the Federation, and while Blake and Callie try to return him to his own planet, the Liberator runs into deadly trouble. Shock. Kind of what you would expect, right? Deadly trouble? Is there any other kind?
No. Cool.
But they gotta make it exciting, otherwise it's gonna be like, So another day at work.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah. All right. So, and hello again to Lady Mist. Last Call presents Blake 7, episode 11. Okay. Well, all right. Since we're already on your channel, Troy, what else do you have coming up?
Next, after that will be starting Thursday morning at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, all day Thanksgiving stream. I'll have the Cosme link up as per usual, and I will be running just Thanksgiving related, and it'll be on both mine and Netter's channel. Starting out at 9 in the morning with a Charlie Brown Christmas, and right now we haven't completely finished the list of movies, but we're thinking of ending the night late in the evening with that what's his name,
Eli Roth.
Thanksgiving horror film, Eli Roth Thanksgiving horror film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're starting out kid friendly and ending adult friendly.
yeah, like, you know,
Mhm.
TVG, TVPG, PG, PG-13, right up into the R.
No XXX though.
Yeah, no, because, you know, it's a Thursday night and we gotta, you know, because I'm not going to be doing after midnight.
Yeah, I'm out.
You know, and some
I'm
of
kidding.
us still have to work on Fridays. So.
Yeah.
So that's Thursday, and then of course, you know, I gotta then get to sleep and get up and work on Friday, and then it'll be last call as per usual, 9 Central, 10 Eastern, and I don't know that I even have a plan. Maybe Boomer can help me figure out what we're gonna do.
When?
Friday.
This Friday.
Yes.
I thought we were doing the. I'm sorry, zonked out there. We're not doing the rewatch.
Which rewatch? Oh, that's right. The Carol Burnett. Yes, that's right. Oh, see, I forgot. See, if this is why I need a designated driver, otherwise I get lost.
And I know
Exactly.
I know at some point we're doing the Cobra Kai final season talk about. I had another idea for another Friday stream I'll talk to you about later too.
Okay.
I think it'll be a fun
Okay.
one. It's like the
Oh,
opposite
cool.
of our rose-colored glasses thing. Okay, we did that one. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it for me.
For me, if you don't mind me chiming in, deleted scenes.
Go ahead.
I'll be on Soundtracks with Birdman tomorrow, 8:30 p.m.
Yes.
Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing our annual Black Friday kind of Thanksgiving Eve stream. So I'll be talking about see if there are any sales going on. And then Friday I'll be on with Troy, and then Sunday Geeky Geezers at a usual time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Uh-huh.
Right. Netter.
Oh, I'm everywhere.
Yes.
So right after this, I'll be joining Troy on his channel, and I'll be simulcasting as soon as I get the link, unless you already sent it to me and I just didn't see it yet.
Right. No, good.
And I'll need the thumbnail. So I'll be over on, well, I'll be simulcasting Blake 7 as well as Troy. So we'll be doing that. And then that's tonight. Since I've had the week off, I'm having to try to
remember what day it is.
Yeah. Wednesday, as far as I know, nothing's going on for me. Thursday, as Troy mentioned, we will be streaming Thanksgiving themed movies all day. They have the main holiday, and each of these movies has to do with Thanksgiving. So we're going to be doing that. It's Thursday. Friday, I'll be on Last Call with Troy Pacelli, co-hosting on there. Let's see. Saturday, I'll be over on Big Al's channel as we watch Paul Blart Mall Cop. Mall Cop.
I like Mall Cop better.
Paul Blart Mall Cop. There we go. I've actually never seen it, and yes, we will be showing Son-in-Law Geek Flag at Nate.
Yes. That is one of them. Yes.
Yeah, that's one. I told Troy, I said, I don't care what other ones you show, but that's the one I'm picking. The rest of them you can pick. Okay, so it's Saturday. I'm not doing anything on Sunday. Monday, I'll be back with Troy doing Monday Night at the Movies on Last Call. And that brings us back to next Tuesday. We'll be right back here for the final dossier
Right.
of Twin Peaks, followed by another exciting episode of Blake 7.
Yep.
All right. Well, that brings things on over to me. And I just realized that, it's going to be Thanksgiving on Thursday. So I think I'm going to push back the Weekend Update show. Maybe Friday, or maybe I'll just skip the week. I don't know. But what I do have in the pipeline is Action Theater, which is December 5th at 3:30. I'll be joining Outlaw Bill for a rewatch of Falling Down, the Michael Douglas
It's such a weird movie.
Wow. Yeah.
It is a creepy movie if you've never seen it.
It's
especially these days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some argue that the movie John Q with Denzel Washington was almost like the Robert Duvall character in that movie was almost like he was reprising his role from Falling Down. It was almost like, the same character. Yes.
And then, of course, the next week, on the 12th, we will be watching Die Hard 2.
Oh, okay. That's a Christmas movie. Or maybe it isn't. I won't have that argument now.
It's set at Christmas time, which makes it a Christmas movie.
But is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie?
It takes place at Christmas time, yes.
Does it? I don't remember.
You're thinking of Die Hard 3. That's the one that doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When does that take place? Arbor Day?
Was it Memorial Day? It takes place in the spring. I remember that. Maybe it was Memorial Day. I can think it was Memorial Day, but I could be wrong. Memorial Day weekend. I could be wrong. Yeah.
So as of right now, that's all I have set up. Of course, next week, join us right back here. Same bat time, same bat channel for Live from Sparkwood and 21, the third and final part of the Final Dossier.
Yep.
Why don't you save Die Hard 2 for Christmas? I did not pick it. That was Bill's choice of when to do it, and who knows? He might have something up his sleeve for Christmas. We'll see.
There's plenty of other action Christmas movies, including some that have Santa Claus in the action role. So yeah.
Yes.
Did Lee Majors appear in that one? I'm sorry.
Funny man.
The reindeer died.
Yep.
Have you ever seen that little animated short that they did where they had the elves fighting Predator?
No.
It's actually pretty funny.
I'll have to look for that.
I'll have to show you that sometime. Yeah. All right. So, any last words before we wrap it up for tonight?
Nothing from me.
Stay away from any girls named Lana, I guess.
Don't eat yellow snow.
Don't. What happened?
Right. I was going to give you your time for your final words there.
Oh, no, I was confused. It just got quiet, and I'm like, nobody's saying it.
Oh, I thought we deleted it again, because sometimes
No.
does that.
I was giving you the opportunity to say your closing.
Oh, there you go. That's you, Netter.
Oh, that's a me thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, y'all know what I always say. We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat. And you're dropping the comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company and having a great time. And you guys, you know you're not just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys and we appreciate you so very much. And you could be anywhere right now and you're here. And that means so much to all of us. It's not just encouraging for us on the panel, but it's encouraging for those in the chat. Because I know that y'all are like me. If I don't see you in the chat, it's like, where are they? I miss you.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here. Thank you for the many ways that you encourage and support us. And until next time, which will be shortly. Good night and God bless.
Yep.
And as I always say at the end of every show, once again, I would like to thank everyone who joined us tonight on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Everyone who joined us on all of our various channels, and everyone here in the live chat. From HQ, the corner of Sparkwood and 21, and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night, take care, stay strong, be safe. Happy Thanksgiving, because this is how we win.